Oh, hello again. Welcome back to Great British Churches here on YouTube. We're in the Eye in Suffolk today. Thought we'd come and have a look at a church with a bit of a difference because it's got a castle next door to it. I'm looking over the camera at the castle up there on the hill, but we'll try and catch a bit of that later on.
It's right up the top there above them trees. You can just about see it.
And there was a story with that, wasn't there?
Yeah, I don't really know much about it, but it's a really old castle, and someone in the 1800s built a house there.
Okay.
It's fallen down, but they call it Kerrison's Folly.
Kerrison's Folly, but the castle dates, and it's a Norman Motte and Bailey built on a little man-made hill, which is quite good. As you can see, we are in proper medieval, very rich Suffolk. It was rich then, it's probably getting that way now, but you can see we've got a wool merchant's house here with very intricate carving.
Beautiful. I'm not going to show too much of that because it is someone's private home.
With a view down the side there, a bridge at the side of the church.
Yeah, it's there with the chimneys there.
But the amazing thing is, don't look at me, look at that, that's not worth looking at.
I know you're not worth looking at, love. Oh, by the way, it is Mr. Churchmobile here. It is his birthday today.
Yes.
So we take you out on the best of adventures on your birthday. Now, this tower is colossal. It really is. And it stands at 101 feet tall.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if you can see that. I've got the sun just poking around the corner there. Now, we have got a bit of a problem with this one today, haven't we?
Yes, there's an organ recital.
Well, he's not really doing.
practice.
He's doing practice, isn't
He's
he?
practice. He's very good at it. He's getting better.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, there's a guy in there playing an organ at the minute. But what we're gonna show you in the church is, you know, obviously this is a walled town. This is a tower built by the Delapole family.
Yeah.
If you look back on our videos, the very first one we did was Wingfield, where Ed Sheeran got married. Bizarrely enough, a couple of years ago.
We weren't supposed to talk about
We
that.
supposed to talk about it. I met him once, but yes. So this family, back in the Middle Ages, you can tell by the name. It's a French name. These are people.
They
who
originated from Hull, and
That's
they.
not very exotic.
No, it isn't. But they made their name. They become wealthy. And they were able to lend money to the king at the time, which I can't remember who it was. But one of them was in succession, was in can't put this right, was in line to the throne after Richard III.
Okay.
And the only reason he did it is because he died before Richard III did.
Oh, okay.
But I think that was either his mother or his wife was the sister of Richard III, Edward IV, and George, Duke of Clarence. And she's actually buried in that church. But we're not here to talk about that church today. We're here to talk about this one.
Look at the flintwork on it. It is amazeballs. It really is.
No, this tower was started in 1450?
Something like that, yeah.
And it was finished in 1488 when they installed the bells. So you can see in the 30-year period. I'm just going to do that.
Different styles of flintwork.
There's different styles of windows. You've got the double bell openings up there. It is. You can just about hear that organ going off in there as well. Now, unfortunately, that is the main door. There is a spectacular porch around the other side. We're going to take you around the outside of this first.
When we go in, we're not going to say a lot, but just
No.
to say, it is it's a corker.
It is
It's a
beautiful.
proper medieval church.
It's a wall church.
It's a wall church. That, we need to explain that.
Go
Back
on
in the
then.
day, you won't find a sheep in this part of England unless it's a pet these days. But back at the time, wool was the big industry, and because we're on the east side of England, we're actually quite close to the continent, so cloth was made called broadcloth, and it was sold. It was in high demand in the colder countries of Europe, and this is where the money comes from. That's where that big house we've just been standing by. That would have been a wool merchant's house back in the time.
Now just look at that. Look. Now this is part of the porch here.
Yeah.
And
Much later.
Yeah, it's a later edition, but nonetheless, still spectacular. And it's a double height porch. Now, porches were built. They had dual purpose. They had a lot of purposes. A porch was quite important to a church. It was where when people were accepted, the vicar would come out and accept the child, the coffin, the married couple, whatever, and they would come in here, and this is where it was. But you can see there's a window up there. There would have been an office in there, and this is where all the tithes would have been sorted out, the laws of the village, any disagreements between neighbours would have all been sorted out by the church council in that room. I don't think you're going to be able to see this, but if you look right at the very top of the tower,
keep going up,
right where the battlement is, the highest bit in the middle.
Right up. Hang on, I've got a finger coming. No.
There we go.
YouTube finger. This is digitally remastered finger. There we go. Right up there.
Right up there. It's the Delapole Arms, and I'm not talking about the pub. that is the arms of John Delapole, I believe, and he was responsible in building the tower. Now here you can see a little bit better the castle, just poking in there.
You can just imagine John Cleese looking over there saying,
the Knights of Knee.
The Knights? No, that's no. Is it the Knights that say Knee? It is, yeah.
I don't know, I never watched it.
Oh, that's Monty Python and the Holy Grail, isn't it?
Yeah, I've just heard you and our daughter talk about it. I personally have not watched them, so.
Crypt.
Oh yeah, we've got a crypt here.
You've got lights. I love the stonework.
Yeah.
Like we say, this porch is built on because it's got bits of brick in it, and brick wouldn't have come back till about 1450 or even 1500s.
Well, you've got the laptop. Why didn't you have a look at the notes?
I've got the laptop, and it says in here. It says, "Welcome to Amazon."
Look at that beautiful window there. Absolutely gorgeous. Everything is so beautiful on this church. For a big church as well, it's.
I love the gargoyles.
It is. Look at him. Look.
Do you know
How can you not love a gargoyle?
Do you know what they remind me of?
What? My mother.
No, that run over there reminds me of a youth with a strange cigarette.
Yeah. Moving swiftly on. Now, this has had a priest door. Now, I would imagine that it's been blocked up because. Actually, no. I was going to say this has been blocked up because of that one there, and this would have been like the extension, but this bit is actually older than that bit, isn't it?
What, that bit?
Yeah.
That bit's newer than that bit.
I disagree, I think it's older.
No, I don't. I think it's the other way around.
What makes you think that?
Because the flint work up there at the top of this bit here and how it is matches a part of the tower.
Yeah.
And why
But that top bit has been in the new edition.
That is, you can see it's added on. You can more or less say each mark between the stonework is about 10 years of work.
So we've got a blocked up priest door here. Paul, do you want to just stand there so people?
I'm about to. I'm going to put my trousers up as well.
So we can see how tall that door is. Do you want to move to one side so we can see the door? You know the old saying, you're a better door than a window. There we go. So what do you reckon that door is? 5 foot?
5 and a bit, I reckon. But I love how the stonework's been robbed out of it to use elsewhere. That's quite something else.
Yeah.
This is smashing. I just love this vaulted, the later priest door.
Yeah. I don't think it's a later one. I think it's earlier.
Do you?
I've got this spidery senses. I think it's earlier. I really do. But you've got the notes on the laptop in your hand.
I have the notes on the laptop in the hand. Welcome to Amazon. Right. Hang on. I'll go back. Oh dear, I've done something to it.
Yeah. So this is a flying buttress because it doesn't come all the way down the wall. It's, There's a technical way on how these buttresses work, and they make absolutely no sense, but they do work. So, but you've got this gap here with this absolute. Do you want to stand into that doorway again?
Yeah.
Not so that you block the view, but see, so that is slightly taller. So it might have been built because there might have been a bit bigger priest there that at the time.
I would say this is it as money in terms of growing. They've done this. That's a clever move because it's given a bit of protection to that priest door. Because
it's a beautiful door, isn't it?
One of the things to explain is when we get inside, if the guy playing the organ is finished, we we'll be able to talk. But if not, this is a church. It's one of the rare ones in the country that's still got a rood screen in it with the saints and.
But the rood screen is only original below, not above.
Not below, but above it was redone according to the blurb from whom? Whose blurb are we using? The book.
Oh, Mortlock. D.P. Mortlock.
D.P. Mortlock. He explains in there that in the 1920s it was rebuilt. So it probably just been because all these things were torn down back in the days of Reformation. Look at our other videos. This is the amazing thing about.
Oh, we've got a horse walking
English.
past. Oh my God.
That?
If that comes after me, I'm due to apologise.
No, it's rush hour.
Horses don't like me. I don't know why.
Going back at breakfast. Right.
So we've got some more absolutely wonderful flush work. And Paul says that it feels so incredibly smooth. Unlike the flint work of the wall there, this is beautiful.
If we look at this, you can rub your hands over it. That's a lot of work. That's skill.
Yeah.
And I like you say, we looked at this earlier, and there's people have carved their names in it. This is cement, so probably not that old. But
but there's one right above your head, look, HC, and it's done in dots. And someone has sat there with something and just dotted it to put their initials in it.
But I can see, if you look at the quality of that and look at the quality, that's your typical rubble wall.
This is what makes me think this is earlier.
Yeah.
I do, I do. But dear viewer, if I'm wrong, please let me know. But
I've been here a while. There's a tombstone, a headstone there, like 1804. Blimey.
Yeah.
During the Napoleonic Wars.
Margaret Keir. And that one you can't even read.
Right. Oh.
That's the sad thing, isn't it? You've got all these gravestones, and after decades, you can't read them anymore. Look at that one over there, look. It's got a hole in it, look.
Oh.
That's a modern one. We won't film that.
No, because that'll have somebody's name on it, and that's going to be in recent years.
We don't film the new ones.
There's the east window, which is the biggest in the church.
Yeah, there we go. It is a beautiful church. I can't hear the organ.
No.
He might have gone home. We've been in there for a little while, and he was playing. And we went out. He's probably thought, "Oh, thank the Lord that they've gone." And then we're going to come in again, and he's going to go, "Oh no!" But look at that beautiful. Look, it's a cup, a chalice cup, and there's a shield there. It is. It's beautiful. We're just going to come round this side. What side is this? This is east.
This is east.
West.
West.
North side.
The north side.
The north side's always the darkest side, isn't it?
Yeah, it's there's very rarely many headstones and things on the north side of the church. How about that? There's your vicarage. Just a quick look, because that's probably somebody's house now.
Well, it is someone's.
And there's your commute to your office.
Yeah, and there's your. So it's got 3 priest doors then.
Yeah. But this is later. This is post. This is
Yeah.
I'd say that.
That's early Georgian, I reckon.
Yeah.
And there's that spectacular house there. Yeah.
It's worth getting. Look at the tower from the side. There's actually sun beautiful.
Yeah.
We're filming this at the end of August, by the way, and you might have noticed we haven't done many films for quite a long time. I think June or July was the last time we did.
Well, we done Walsingham, didn't we? And that's the only one we've done in the last year. But we have been really busy. We're both doing degrees, and it's taken its toll. We've also had ill health as well, so
Yeah, life's just catching us up a bit.
Yeah. And is it you?
Shop and death catches you up.
Yeah. So we haven't really done a lot in the way of videos, you know, but perhaps we'll get a few more done before the end of summer. Also, I got a job over Christmas which sort of stopped us going out, and it was a miserable winter, wasn't it? Just kept raining all the time. And walking around a graveyard when it's wet is not fun.
We're in quite a big market town here, big for Suffolk. We're probably like the 5th or 6th biggest town in Suffolk. So, as you can see,
But it's more like a village, isn't it? It's quiet. I like the organist has left.
it feels like filming somebody's house, so we're not going to the big timber jobby that we started off in the video.
Is there, but we're...
It's all beautiful, ornate cardboard.
Yeah, it is. I'm just going to show you. Yeah, you just look at that window there, underneath that. And then that corner down there is just beautifully carved. But I'm not going to shine you right into their windows. It is just not fair.
But the whole of this part of the world, Norfolk, Suffolk, strangely actually the population for Norfolk was bigger in the 15th and 16th century than it was until the 19th century, because the population was so big with the wool industry, and that all died down. That's why if you go to Norfolk there's a lot of abandoned churches.
Right, so we're now at the bottom of the tower. So instead of using that rather grand porch that we saw around the other side, I'll just cut Paul's head off. That's the organist leaving. So we're now just going to go in there.
Yeah, so the name of the church, do we? St. Peter's Hall Church High.
No, we didn't, did we?
It's just a bit
Yeah.
trapdoor.
Yep, so there's the bell rope. And that fan vault, just beautiful.
Gorgeous. That would have been. Can you imagine what that had cost in the day?
It doesn't look strong enough to support anything, does it?
No, not at all.
Oh, there we go. So there you go. Oh, and they've got the Scott Brothers duo on at some point. So.
Are you ready? This is a spectacular. You've got to go. Suck it in like spaghetti as we go.
Is anybody else in here?
No.
So we are alone.
We're alone. It's only the brother left.
So, what about this font? What do we know about this font?
This font, not a lot, because I've got your family tree up there. This is good. Which is funny with a family tree, because
My family come from around here.
around here we've actually over there's a monument to people from the First World War, and we've actually found some of Mel's family on there, which is quite. Mel's quite the genealogist. Is that the word?
That is my lovely, yes.
That is, and she looks into sort of family history, because her family from out here, we're not. Our lot are from Hertfordshire and places like. Actually, my grandfather was born in a village that was washed away from the sea. Not in Hertfordshire, but if the sea's washing away Hertfordshire, we have got to worry. Look at that lovely font cover. It's from the 1920s, apparently.
Yeah.
So have a look.
Beautiful, isn't it?
So if we look across there, the organ's amazing. There's two. There's a little organ there, but the chap was just playing that one there, practicing.
But the pipes are there, so you think that there's
Connection, tubes.
whatever go under the church floor for that organ.
Yeah.
There'll be somebody who watch our video who knows how organs work. And
One of the funnies we often find in a church is this. This is the list of vicars for the church. So we start off with 1138 with Hubertus Presbyter at Eye, the Priory and Convent of Eye. Oh, all French names, like right up Stowe. Then we get to...
there is something dedicated to one of the vicars here. And I'm trying to think and look
Look at that
see
side.
what it is.
Just freeze the frame if you want to read any more, but it gives you an idea of the names.
This font is a 19th century one,
Oh,
but it has a 1930s cover, and it was actually designed by someone called Sir Ninian Comper,
oh yeah.
and he was responsible for beautifying the church, this church.
Yeah, it is. Let's have a look at the ceiling. It is. I don't even know how to film it. It's so amazing.
Slowly.
Really slowly. If you look
It
up
does
there.
go
I'm a bit quick. I'll get
Gareth
excited.
Wilson's
I'll get
got the camera.
excited. Look at that. Amazing. And we've got the rood screen. And early in this century, or the last century, they put in angels and the cross. All this stuff would have been chomped out. And if you can see, there's a balcony up there.
It's the rood loft.
It's the rood loft, and that's where your choir would have sung, and maybe a band.
You can see to the left, look, you've got the entrance.
There's a lot of entrance. How often we look at churches and you will see a stairway going nowhere. And
Might be a stairway where the organ
it is
pipes
behind the organ pipes, I should imagine. But if you have a look at how the walls lean out.
It does.
They do, but they have to support the weight of the building, the weight
Also,
of that
they would
tower.
have had a plumb line when they done this.
No, it's done for strength. If we have a look at the pews.
No, we've got a tomb over here.
Oh yes, this is quite an interesting one. I had a look at this earlier because we tend to come on a bit of a recce before we look, but we tend to have a look. And you can see that's the coat of arms of, I don't know what family that is. Look at that, lovely knight up there.
And that was George Gerald Bourne's in the glass.
Is it?
Yeah, it was born June the 4th,
Yeah.
1892.
Oh, he's racist. This is Nicholas. His obituary, and he died in December, Anno Domini.
Nicholas Cutler, is it? No, Henry Cutler. I don't know.
Cutler. Yeah, I can see Cutlerless on here, on there.
Yeah, I'm just having a look. Oh, yes. That's why there's a north door and it's blocked out. It's Nicholas Cutler and his wife Eleonora.
Mm-mm.
There you go. You
And
see
Eleonora? Yeah, there's her little disc over there. So she died in 1549 and him in 1568.
Now, this was originally in the sanctuary and it was moved, obviously, to get more space up in the sanctuary.
It's just amazing that these things exist, Stephen, isn't it?
Yeah.
A centrally heated church.
And we've got ledger stones.
Oh,
here.
we've got one here.
Nathaniel Day. Is it Day?
Thomas
Day.
Day.
You're looking at them upside down, by the way.
Well, I know that. In a moment. Right, there we go. Shall we get a picture of a bum? Yeah. Nathaniel Day, 1718. Let's have a look.
It's a very neat church, isn't it?
Very. It's neat. It's still quite. It's a wealthy area, to be fair.
And there's obviously a modern little prayer area.
There we go. There's the new organ tubes put in the 1970s.
Yeah.
Oh, we've got an Admiral Cunningham. That's always good. Let's have a look. Here we go. Rear Admiral Sir Charles Cunningham, KGH.
Is that Knights of the Garter? It's not Knights of the Garter, is it? KG?
834. So.
KG is Knights of the Garter, I think. Isn't that what it is?
Oh, dissolve a dangerous conspiracy after a long and brilliant professional career. Devoted, this was appointed in 1803, right in the middle of the Napoleonic Wars.
Energy gallantry.
Oh, well. These people have money now. If we have a look up there, there's still a bit of painted ceiling in here, which is nice. Obviously that's been redone in modern era. But have a look at the.
Get up there with a feather duster.
This is the road screen. Can you imagine being an agricultural worker? Somebody's out on the farms, and you came in, and your
Do it slowly.
your world is
Whiplash.
brown and grey, and suddenly you're met
Right.
with that.
Now,
Who we got? The Saints,
we have got the saints from left to right.
and this bit
Get right up
is
there.
the original bit. I'm getting up there.
Now, this was restored in the 1960s by someone called Miss Pauline Plummer. Now, it's fair to point out she did not repaint, she restored. How she restored? Don't know.
You can see some of these have been scraped in the past.
Yeah.
They've offended
But
somebody.
not defaced that badly. So the first one now is St. Paul, or it could be a king. We don't know.
Don't know.
I did get the information from D.P. Mortlock's book on Suffolk churches, so, you know, this is what he says. So the second one is Helen, and she has the true cross.
Right.
The third one is Edmund.
Edmund with his arrows. He's the local saint, by the way.
He is, yes. And then we've got Ursula with virgins under her cloak.
That's it, like that. She's spilling out all over the place.
And now we've got Henry VI. He died in 1471, but he was never canonised.
Oh,
And then we've got Dorothy. She looks like a Dorothy.
she does, doesn't she? This isn't Kansas. Right.
Then we've got Barbara.
Barbara.
Then we've got Dear Agnes.
Agnes.
And that fellow at the end there that looks like a woman is actually Edward the Confessor, and he's holding the legendary ring.
Oh, yeah.
And then we've got to walk across the end.
Yes. Have a look across the universe.
And we
Who
have
have we got here?
John.
John. Yeah.
And then the next one is Catherine. She has got a large sword with a tiny wheel in the bottom corner.
Oh,
Down there.
yeah, she has as well. Is that Catherine Wheel?
Could well be.
Right, okay, yeah.
They do say that was named after a saint. And then we've got William of Norwich.
What was he famous for?
You asked me these most important questions that I don't know the answer to.
Okay, he's got lovely hair too. He looks like Mark Bolan. Right. And who's next?
She looks like Dorothy, this one.
Yeah, she is.
It's Lucy smiling sweetly while carrying her bloody eyes on a book.
Right,
How
okay.
you can smile sweetly when you haven't got your eyeballs in, I don't know.
I don't know. Who's the fellow with a hat?
He's Thomas of Canterbury.
Oh, yeah, Thomas Becket.
It has been suggested this could also be someone called Blaise, but there is no sign of a wall comb. Now that would fit being in a wall
Church, yeah.
And the last one is Cecilia.
Oh, she's breaking my heart.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, look at that. She's been a bit scratched about the face.
Yeah.
And the last two panels are empty, but then again...
There might never have been anything there by the looks of things.
No, but these things were defaced back in the time, and
But it's nice
just
to think
amazing.
that a lot of this is the original paintwork.
It is.
It is glorious to see
It
this
is.
intact.
It is. Can you imagine? Your world is full of browns and a bright colour. It just, you're left with the colours of nature, and to
Let's just go
see
through the
this.
other side.
Yeah, this is the extension we were looking at from the outside. Me nearly went there. Sorry. Oh, I thought it was a boomerang on the wall. It's not. It's that doorway we looked on the outside that's been bricked up. Hang on. Right, what am I doing?
Turn around. Go on.
Turn around.
Right, now, you saw how colourful it was from the congregation side.
The top bit is, but don't forget that has been rebuilt.
Yeah. This is what the priests would have seen.
Yeah.
They didn't need colour. They knew the sermon. They knew the focal points. They knew everything to do with religion and church. So they didn't need it to be that brightly coloured. It was brightly coloured to attract the congregation's attention up here.
Up here, because this is where the priest didn't go down that way.
No.
Up here, this is the workshop.
But if you turn round,
I'm turning around.
the focal point of any church
Yeah.
is the altar. And this is why a church was built. The church was not built for religion. The altar was built for religion. It was sacrifice. It was how it was started.
Ah.
And the church was built around the altar to protect it from the weather.
Right. Ah. We're going to have a look at some Roman churches at some point, because that is where they're built round and why they carried on use into Christian times.
But that is why the church was built in the first place. They had this altar, they were sacrificing. It was used for all sorts of things like to do with religion. And then one day they said, we're fed up with it getting wet, so we'll put a roof
Roof
over it.
over it, yeah.
And that's what they've done. Now, do you want to have a look at the ceiling, my love?
I do, because that's been restored and it is amazeballs.
It is. It's
Look
beautiful.
at that.
I don't like anything new in a church, but this has been done very, very well, I think.
I think it has, yeah.
A lot
Because
of
that
people
would have been,
might disagree with me on that.
but it's been covered over at some point. That's the east window. We've seen it from the outside.
Yeah.
And look, somebody's got there's paint samples on the wall, so somebody's been down to B&Q.
Yeah.
Oh.
They're obviously going to paint this white, which will make it's just quite a nice NM place, but it's going to make it better.
If we have a look there, that's the door we saw from the outside with the rectory, rectory opposite. Now, if we go around.
I reckon it's been blocked up that you stood in.
No, I don't think it is, Mel. That's the one, that is the doorway. If we look there, what I thought was a boom rack. Yeah, under the buttress. But if we have a look at it, this is. Do you know, I'm doubting myself now looking at the windows from the inside, whether the age. There is, but I'm looking at the age of it. Look at the stonework. We have to go down this way. Right. If my director moves to the right, because she doesn't like to be filmed. Oh, hello.
Church bells.
Yeah, bells. Oh, it's like the start of that song, isn't it?
I don't know what song.
Oh, the Underworld. I'm trying to think of the fella's name now.
They're not very loud.
No.
Big church.
No, they're up a long way, mate, and we're down a long way. All there's bits of wall painting on, and we'll come back to that. There's another tomb up here. They're absolutely full of ledger stones on the floor, and also different depictions on the wall. So that's that priest's door. This is a smaller altar, and that's fenced off for some reason, so we're not going to go in there. But as you can see, another tomb there. Oh, I'm really in two minds whether this bit's older than the other bit. Right, let's have a look at these pictures, because the director's gone behind the remains of a fresco discovered in the wall above the chancel in Eye Church during its restoration in 1869. Look at that, isn't that beautiful? And this is how all churches would have been painted at one time, but of course this, we change, we've got different types of religion and Christianity goes on now. You know, most churches in this country are Protestant churches now, but obviously, you know, like we always say in these videos, they would have been built as Catholic churches in the middle, because that was the religion of the country up until good King Henry. And we're going to have a quick look at the memorial for those fallen in the First World War, 1914 to 18. And we can see good rooms in there. I think some of my wife's family, a lot of them moved off to Canada. That's it. In holy memory of Harriet Bertha Taken, who died 30 October 1918, and the new rood loft is dedicated by Sir Thomas Henry Taken, who died 19th of February 1922. I think we've done it all. I think we've seen it all.
Now, it is to say that.
Oh, let's swing back round.
Arches,
Which one's
will you
not?
stand still?
I'm standing still.
Right, turn round.
Right.
One of the arches on that road screen to the right of the door, I've just had a look, I can't find it. There is an inscription there, whether it's painted or carved, I don't know. And it says, "Pray for John Gold." And it's probably a reference to the donor of that. But if you look, I don't think we've pointed it out, but you've got seraphs under there up on that
Oh, yeah.
road screen. And you've got dragons.
Dragons.
And there's also a pelican in her. Is that a pelican?
Oh, yeah, pelican. They often used to be on road screens, apparently. I'm going to sit down again. Ooh. Look at that. Is that just amazing? Imagine sitting here in the tube seats back in the day and you're met with that. You think, wow. And to see anything gold, you've had to have seen a real bit of gold. This is all gold leaf. It's been restored, but this is what a lot of parish churches would have had at the time. So you'd have sat here, there'd been curtains behind those panels, and all the stuff would have been got, all the priests and the monks and everything, all the churchy stuff would have gone like back there.
But you look above the roof screen, that bit of ceiling is the only bit that's painted.
It is, and that whole building would have been, this whole building would have been painted like that back in the time. Can you imagine what the salt and the censors? Because everybody was taxed in the day, and everyone was taxed by the church. Government taxation didn't come in till about the 1800s. There we go. I'm going to hand you back then.
Right. I think we've done everything in here.
I think we have. It's a gorgeous church.
Yeah. So do you want to?
Shall we have a look up the castle?
No.
No, you don't want to go up the castle?
No. We've got another church to do, love.
Oh, no. Where are we off to now?
Framlingham.
Framlingham. See you there. Orby Square. Bye.